Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I want to just show you really quick an executive knife that I've been doing a little bit of work on. Now this one I actually got off of eBay and it was in pretty rough shape. This knife I cleaned up, polished. I haven't oiled it yet, but I have actually started to teach myself how to create these leaf springs using Victorinox modern springs. Now this I used a 74mm spring. You can probably even use a 91mm spring and shape and fashion this into what you want it to be. But this spring was a little short. I actually used the other half for another smaller knife of mine, and it ended up being a tad short. It's actually supposed to meet right here on the scissors, not back here. But I think it came out pretty good. I've had pretty good luck with these springs. They have enough spring tension in them. But one of the key things about these single leaf springs is that they allow the knife, the scissors to close or collapse all the way into the handle. If you use the double leaf spring on these vintage 1970s style scissors, you actually cannot get them to close. Now I'm going to get a modern or a more modern executive knife really quickly. So here is a more modern executive set of scissors, and you can see that there's actually a kind of a wave in this space. I don't really know how to explain it, but when you have these closed, you can see that there is kind of a much bigger indentation between the scissor joining parts here that allows this spring to have more room. Whereas on these older ones, you're going to see that it's a much tighter fit. And I have actually found that using this spring for it is not as conducive as making your own single leaf spring. So there are actually a few issues with this knife which I haven't figured out how to fix. The small pen blade opens just fine, but it has barely any snap back. And don't worry, these blades haven't been sharpened. It has no snap back because the liner here has been somewhat crushed. Now I haven't figured out a really good way to straighten this out without removing the scales and maybe possibly damaging the inside of the liner. So if you guys know any possible way to straighten that out, just let me know. But this knife was in very rough shape. Sorry about all the oil there. And to be honest, I actually thought I could not save it. It was in such rough shape, I just couldn't believe it. But with a little bit of sandpaper and a little bit of patience, you are able to get a very nice outcome out of these knives. It just takes a lot of work. The orange peeler was actually in really good shape, but all the other tools on this thing was in really rough shape. Now, when it came to the nail file, that one was actually very, and I said I didn't oil this, but damn, there's a lot of oil, but I really haven't oiled any of the pivots. The nail file wasn't in bad shape. It was mainly the scissors and the blades that had all the damage. But I just wanted to show you guys that this is what I've been working on for a couple days and trying to perfect how I can create these leaf springs without them either snapping or without them having any major issues. So I probably will give you guys an update on how this goes on my next few that I'm actually going to be installing in a few other knives. And I actually have a few vintage knives coming in the mail, and they are doozies. I will tell you that. They are definitely knives that I have been hunting for a while. So till the next one, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.